What if I told you that you are causing yourself insane amounts of unnecessary suffering? And what if I told you that if you watch this video and you watch it all the way to the end, that I will help you to get out of that and to learn how to actually live a life that feels deeply aligned for you? I grew up in a very, very Middle Eastern family, and being Middle Eastern wasn't an issue. I love my culture, but the expectations that were placed on me within my family were insanely destructive for me as a person. Growing up, there was these expectations put on me about who I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to look like and what I was supposed to do and what it meant to be, part of the Thomas family and what it meant to be a Middle Eastern woman. There was all of these expectations that were placed on me, and growing up, didn't I didn't agree with it. I didn't believe that that's the person that I was supposed to be, and I didn't believe that that was the kind of person that felt right for me. So I rebelled like crazy, but a lot of those beliefs stuck. A lot of those expectations stuck in ways that I had no idea. And I had no idea the long term lasting impact that they would have on me. I started having these expectations and these beliefs that I'm always supposed to look a certain way. So I always have to be dolled up and glammed out, and I can never look ugly. And I had to be very small and petite. I had to be extremely feminine. I had to be subservient and submissive. I believed that I had to be incredibly intelligent and never make mistakes, but the intention wasn't put on trying really hard. It was just get the outcome, be smart, look pretty, be this, be that. It was ridiculous. I had all of these expectations and all of these ideas put into my head about who I was supposed to be, and I never agreed to it. I never was able to have that dialogue with myself and say, is this really aligned for me? And why do you need me to be that? Why do you so badly need me to be a certain way, look a certain way, and act a certain way? The challenge that so many of us are facing is that we have these expectations and these ideas and these guidelines put on us from people that don't even know why they're doing it. And then we're expected to just adopt it because that's what we do. And it's ruining our life. We're sold this idea and we're sold this lie that this is what it means to be a person in this unit, in this family, in this culture, by this gender, whatever. We have these expectations that are put on us by people who never actually thought it out and in ways we never actually agreed to. For me, it was insanely destructive because I didn't agree with it. But what do you do as a child when these expectations are put on you? Or what do you do as a young adult when these expectations are put on you and you are sincerely believing, because you have evidence to support it, that I'm not going to be loved if I don't meet these expectations? That my needs are going to go unmet if I do not show up in the way that is expected of me. When you're sold on a lie that you are going to suffer if you do not do what these other people are telling you that you need to do. And you know what the crazy thing about it is? you start adopting these beliefs without ever actually agreeing to it. It's this concept called social learning theory. You basically adopt the beliefs and the ideas and the emotions and the patterns of the people around you because that's how you learn. And that's exactly what happened to me, so much so that I had no idea until recently what narratives I was living by, the values I never agreed to, the beliefs that I never chose, the emotions that I was acting on that never actually felt right for me, and the stories I was telling myself about myself and about the world and about other people. I sincerely believed that nobody was ever going to love me unless I was perfect, that being a woman meant, a certain thing, and being Middle Eastern meant a certain thing, and being a person meant a certain thing. It was all these things I never agreed to. And there was this inner conflict within me because I knew it didn't feel right, but I didn't know why. And I didn't feel safe enough to go against it. I mean, I tried when I was a kid, don't get me wrong. Like I fought like hell against it. And I did experience a lot of pain. And I did experience a lot of suffering. It almost broke me. It almost broke me because I was fighting against this idea, but I had nothing else to go by. I had nothing else to cling to. And there was real danger in me not following the expectations. So what do? Your brain learns, be this way, do this thing. It's safer. But eventually you come to a point in your life, and it's usually in adulthood, and this is actually when people tend to go to therapy, when they realize, I'm not happy. Like, I'm deeply suffering. I'm not okay with my life, and I don't understand why. And what ends up happening is, if they see a good therapist, what ends up happening is the dialogue comes up of, what was your childhood like? What was it like growing up at home? And did you feel safe or in your environment or at school or with your friends or in whatever? Did you feel loved just for who you are? What were the expectations put on you? What were the beliefs of the family unit? What did your family value? Did you agree with it? Did you choose that? And what ends up happening, if you're with a good therapist, is that the answer is typically no. The answer is typically, I'm living my life not based on expectations and rules and guidelines that I actually set for me, but by these unconscious rules and scripts and narratives and expectations and beliefs that the world put on me and that I adopted because I believed that that was the only way that I was going to be okay. If you are watching this, that's probably the truth for you too. I guarantee you're not living a life that actually feels right for you and that actually feels aligned for you because it was never safe enough to. I doubt your parents sat you down and said, what matters to you? What would a life on your terms look like? If you had the ability to be the kind of person that you sincerely wanted to be, what would that look like? And how can we support you in that? Here's what it means to be a good person. This is what we think. What do you think about it? Let's have a dialogue. Here's what we believe would make you have a deeply meaningful life. Do you agree with that? Yes or no? Let's have a dialogue. That's not what happens a lot of the times, because parents have expectations that I'm the authority, so you should just listen. And the child has the expectation that's literally said to them, if I don't listen, something bad's going to happen to me. So we're never actually taught what or how to build a life on our terms. because there's these scripts and these guidelines and these paths that are basically built for us that we believe we have to follow. And when you do that for so long, you start believing, well, this is the only way. What else am I supposed to do? Women in my family don't go to school. Men in my family don't do dance. People in my culture don't do this. People in my country don't do that. You adopted these beliefs that you never actually agreed to, you never consented to. But because of where you grew up and because of how you grew up and because of the circumstances surrounding you, you adopted them. And then you wake up at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and you're like, what the fuck is my life? I didn't want this. I didn't choose this. I don't want to be this person. So you do one of two things. You either live your life deeply miserably because you sincerely believe that nothing can be done, which I don't believe is true, but some people do believe that. There's a sincere belief that it is what it is and it's too late now and you can't teach an old dog new tricks and, well, too late now. I have to live with this. And then what comes with that, a lot of bad things. Or you do the really bold, brave, courageous thing of really diving deep into what are the narratives and the stories that I have been living my life by. And then you change them and you navigate through them and you work on them and you actually build a life that is meaningful for you based on the person that you want to be, not the narratives and the bullshit that you were sold on that you never even agreed to. And it's not 0 or 100, right? It's not you completely agree or you completely disagree. Like, I do value showing up and looking well, looking good, taking care of yourself, presenting yourself in the right way. But I don't believe that my entire worth is based on how I look and that you always have to be at 100%. You have to pick and choose what's right for you and what amounts and what way and what circumstances, and then the guidelines in which you want to navigate that. If you want to start, here's what I would suggest, and this is exactly what I do with my clients working as a mental health therapist and as a counselor for almost 6 years now. I've done over 6,000 therapy sessions. So here's how you can start. If you don't want to live this way anymore, if you've decided this isn't the life for me, this isn't the life that I want, this isn't the life that I chose, I don't feel aligned with this isn't who I want to be. That's the first step. You identified that this is wrong for you. Step number 2, honestly, is developing the acceptance that it's okay that I want a different life. It's okay that the world and society or my parents or my siblings or my culture or whatever has these expectations of me that I don't agree to, that I don't agree with, that I don't want to live by anymore. Because typically there's a lot of shame that's embedded in that. You start to believe that, am I the problem? Am I doing something wrong? Am I a bad person, son, daughter, friend, whatever, because I don't want to live this way? So step number 1 is identifying that this isn't right for you. And step number 2 is developing the acceptance that it's okay that I want to live my life differently. It's okay that this isn't right for me. It's okay that I don't want to be what this world is telling me. That's what I did. I made a lot of mistakes getting up to that point, and I wish I had a video like this that actually highlighted that. But, whatever. Now I get to teach it. But you have to develop the acceptance that it's okay and that me being alive in this world. Maybe I didn't choose to be here. Maybe I'm deeply sad and hurt by the way that the world is, but I'm alive, and me being alive means that I deserve to make my life what I want it to be. Because I have the privilege, because I have the opportunity, because I have the access to resources, I deserve to make my life what I want it to be. And I owe it to myself to do that. Because the reality is, the reason that there is so much suffering in the world is because so few people have actually ever done that. So few people are actually living lives that are deeply meaningful and that matter to them. They're just living by the script that they feel like they have to, and then they grow resentful of it. And then what do? They attack others, and they hurt others, and they inflict pain onto others because they're deeply suffering. Hurt people hurt people. Healed people heal people. You have to accept that it's okay, that this isn't who you want to be, because you doing that makes your world a better place and then inspires others to do the same. And then you can do proactive family leadership, and you can do leadership in your relationship or within your culture or whatever, letting them see that there is a new way, but it has to start with you. So, number one, identify that there is a problem. Number two, allow yourself to accept the fact that you're not okay with it. Step number three is start to really identify, what are the narratives and the beliefs that I have cultivated and that I've been living my life by. And you do that by really pinpointing, how do I live my life? What are the things that I find myself doing? What are the thoughts I'm consistently finding myself having? How am I living on the day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year? What are the patterns that I've engaged in? I know that's not super easy to do on your own. So if you need help with this, put a comment down below that you'd like to connect, or message me on my socials, or I have links down below. You can do a free 30-minute call with me. I won't try to sell you on anything, but just say, I want help identifying my life patterns and expectations. And what you and I will do is actually unpack that and identify the behaviors and the thoughts and the feelings and the beliefs that you've been living by. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link down below in the description, and it'll give you access to my calendar, and then you can set that up. So number three is start understanding your patterns. What have you done? What did your life look like? What did you do? Where was your time going? Where's your energy going? Where are your thoughts typically? What are the emotional patterns that you've been engaging in? What are the relationship dynamics you keep getting in? What are you doing even though you know you don't want to, but you feel like you have to? Step number four is actually identifying, what would be meaningful for me. What would be meaningful for me? If I could be the kind of person that I actually wanted to be, what would that look like? And a really great way to do that is to identify somebody who does live that way and pinpoint what they do. I actually did this with a client yesterday. I had her think about that, like 3 to 5 people that she really values, and then we pinpointed exactly what the character traits were and the skills and the habits that they were engaging in that she really valued. Because typically what we value is based on who we actually want to be and the beliefs that we have about who we should be and what would make our life better. So step number four is identify, what would a deeply meaningful life actually look like? What would a life on my terms actually look like if I could live a life that really mattered to me? What would that be? Then step number five is learning how to bridge the gap between number three and four. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? Step number five is, what are the steps that I have to take to get me there? Going to therapy is probably a big one, because it's hard to identify these things on your own. It is hard to see your patterns on your own. So what I would suggest is work with a therapist, work with a coach, work with somebody who can actually help you to identify the steps. If you're not ready for that, something that you could do is read the autobiographies or watch videos of people who have done what you want, who are living the life that you want. If it's someone you can reach out to them. Be like, hey, I really value the way that you live your life. I want to get to that point. What are some things that you can suggest to me? What should I start doing? What should I stop doing? How can I get to the point that you are? People love getting asked questions like that because people love talking about themselves. So if you ask somebody, hey, I really value the way that you live your life, and I want to be more like that and more like you. Can you help me? Can you guide me? Can you give me some tips? 9 times out of 10, they will say, yes, absolutely. So find a therapist or a coach, or find somebody that you know that is living the life that you want, and then ask them and get their perspective. And then what you do is every day, and it doesn't have to be every minute of every day, but slowly over time, you start implementing those new habits and tactics and strategies. So if you understand that you really value fitness, for example, and you're out of shape, but you see someone and you're like, wow, I want to be more fit. I don't want to drink anymore and I don't want to do all of these things. Oh, this person lives their life that way. So you ask them, they tell you what to do, and then you slowly over time start adding in going to the gym and eating better and not drinking and not smoking and optimizing your sleep and whatever. That's how you really build a new life. And that's how you build and create expectations of yourself that are grounded in reality. Most of our self expectations are not grounded in reality. They're grounded in the distorted and the misaligned beliefs and expectations that other people have put on us that we never adopted, or that we did adopt, but it wasn't conscious and we never actually wanted them. And then, number two, based on that, we have these insanely unrealistic expectations of who we're supposed to be. I'm supposed to look like a freaking supermodel every single day. Every single day. I'm never supposed to have a flaw. I'm never supposed to make a mistake. I'm never supposed to not look pretty. That is a recipe for disaster. Because there's going to be days when I feel like shit. There's going to be days when I don't want to do my hair. There's going to be days where I have a bad hair day, or my makeup doesn't come out the way that I want, or I'm going to the grocery store and that doesn't mean I need to put heels on and a freaking dress like I'm going to the Met Gala. The expectations that we put on ourselves are so distorted. They are so invalid, and they are ruining our life. Your expectations are ruining your life. They are not rooted in the person that you sincerely want to be, that would make you have the best quality of life possible. They are rooted in what other people tell you that you need to be, or this really misaligned and unrealistic expectation of who you're supposed to be. The happiest people are the people who live life based on their own reality, their own expectations, their own sincerest beliefs. And if you want that life, it starts right here. Acknowledge that things are not going the way that you want them to. Give yourself permission to accept that it is okay to change. Identify your patterns, identify where you want to be, and then slowly over time start building the skills to help you get there. That is exactly what I did, and how I went from this broken little girl, significantly suffering and struggling with borderline personality disorder, to being completely symptom free, a business owner, a therapist who works with hundreds and thousands of people, all hundreds and thousands on hundreds of thousands, not yet, hundreds and thousands of people all over the world, doing speeches and podcasts and speaking events and all of these wonderful things that I get to do, being the leader and the woman that I've become. I did it for me. I help my clients do it for them. And it is possible for you too. And it starts here and it starts now. So to confirm this just that much more, put a comment down below. What is that life going to look like for you? And affirm to yourself that today is the day that you are going to start. I can't wait to see you there.